I've just realised that I'm matching the blanket. Love it. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about goal setting for 2026, what my goals are as an artist for this year, as well as some things that I'm doing to help me achieve those goals. I have been using this journal, or a journal, for the last 2 years now. I started it, I think, the 1st of January 2024, and I started doing it every single day. Then it kind of went to like weekly, monthly, and now I just kind of do it whenever I feel like I need to. It's basically therapy in a book. I love it. I started doing a thing with my journaling where I would do weekly and monthly audits. So I would talk about what went well in the month or the week, and then what I could have improved on, or maybe things that I didn't achieve that I wanted to. Small or big goals, they don't have to be anything too special. And then I would go into what I want to do for the week after or the month after. And with 2025, at the end of 2025, I did a big audit basically. So I first did it on the computer just to kind of get it all out of my brain and typed up and things. And then I did it in my journal a little bit neater because there was some things that I didn't want on there and things like that. Basically, did a list of everything that I achieved and everything that I wish I would have done. That was a big thing. When I say things that I achieved and things I wish I did, it does not have to be a humongous task. I think one of my achievements was that I finally sorted my car MOT all on my own. That was an achievement. Some other things that I had was that I started renting my own art studio. I sold 2 original paintings. I bought my dream car, We Love Betsy. I started going to the gym, managed to finish 5 paintings, which was pretty big for me. I also got into my first post uni art exhibition. I read 28 books. Another one that I've written down is that I sorted my popped car tyre all on my own, which I did. Very proud of myself for that. I completed a week-long digital detox. I started this YouTube channel. One of them was the fact that I did start doing weekly and monthly audits when journaling. I made some crocheted pieces. And yeah, another one is that I cut out caffeine. So they don't have to be huge goals or things that you did achieve. They can be small things. Even if it's something like you managed to get up half an hour early in the morning or something. It's just everything that you achieved. And looking back, you'll actually realise how much you actually did last year that you should be proud of. So then from that, I then made a list of all the things that I wish I would have done. I'll see if I can find mine here actually. So I divided this into categories. So I've got hobbies, I've got art, I've got business, I've got money, relationships, health. So each one has got about 3 to 5 things in them. It doesn't have to be much. And again, it can be small things, it doesn't have to be anything too major. But I found it really helpful to just go through and think about what I wish I would have done. For example, I wish I would have seen some of my friends a little bit more. I wish I would have continued my running. I wish I would have focused on creating more than one piece at a time, because that's a really big thing with me. I start a piece, I finish it, start another piece, I finish it, and there's not really any overlap, and I struggle with that. I wish I would have read more non-fiction books or reread some of the books that I've already got. So from that things that I wish I would have done list, I then made my 2026 goals and I put them into categories again, and I just made a list for each one of things I wish I would have done and that I want to do this year. Again, some of them are big, some of them are small. Some ones that I can read out are some examples are that I want to try and paint 6 artworks this year, which I think is a alright goal. I want to do some art markets this year, so that was on my goals list. I also want to read 24 books again. For the last 2 years, it's been my goal to read 24, and I try and aim for 12 fiction, 12 non-fiction, but last year I only read non-fiction, so this year I really want to try and bump that up a little bit. There's a couple of crochet pieces that I really want to finish, so those are on here. I've noted that I want to see my friends more, that I want to do some more hosting with friends. I want to go to my art studio 1 to 2 days a week, every week. So yeah, they're not huge goals, at least most of them aren't, but they're little things that would give me a little boost by checking them off. Now, the main thing that I used to struggle with when writing my goals out for the year was that I would write out all my goals of everything I wanted to do, and then that was it. I didn't look back on them to see what I could add to my monthly to-do list. I didn't look back on them and see what I could cross off. I just made the list and then thought they were going to happen. So my main piece of advice is, once you've made your list of everything that you want to accomplish this year, big or small, refer back to it. Every time I make a weekly to-do list or a daily to-do list, I'm referring back to my goals. What's a small thing that I can do today that can help me with my goals for the year? So that's my biggest tip. So after I wrote down all my goals, I then decided to make a vision board. It's something that I used to do a few years ago, and I just found it really helpful as more of a visual. The way that I used to do it was I would find images of myself or of things I actually want to do, so maybe stock images or something like that. But then for some things, I would actually edit them so that it would be more in line with me and that I could see myself in that position, if that makes sense. So, myself and my boyfriend Tom, we spent some time making a vision board together, which was a cute little thing to do together. And we just printed off some photos. I think I've got some clips probably playing now. We printed off some photos of both us and things that we've done that we want to continue doing, but also individual things. He's done his own, and then I've got my own. So some things on here is a picture of my car, because I want to learn to take a little bit better care of my car now that I've got my dream one. I've got a picture of me in the gym and a picture of me running to kind of motivate myself to be like, you've done it before, you can do it again. I've got some other things like a painting repaint that I want to do, some photos of my prints which are coming out soon, and some other things like that, some trips that we went on that we want to do again. I found it really helpful this time to have it stuck actually in my journal, a page before or after my goals. And like I said, every time I'm making a to do list for the week or for the day, I always refer back to the goals and also my vision board to really see what I want to achieve. So another thing that I did this year that I'd never done before, but I only did it because I saw it getting big on TikTok and I wanted to join in. So me and one of my best mates met up for a coffee and we decided to make some punch cards that I'd been seeing all over TikTok. I really enjoyed this. I've done a bingo before. I think it was in like 2022 or something. I made like a bingo. So it was kind of along that line, but a little bit different. We just had a coffee, had a tea. I'd already pre-cut some sketchbook paper, and then I took some pens with me and we just designed some little punch cards. These are all based off my goals, so I didn't do one for every single goal that I've got because otherwise I'd have so many. But I sort of prioritised ones that would make sense to do a punch card with, and things that I maybe wanted a reward for. Some of them I've got savings ones, I've got a book one. So I've got it as a goal that for every 6 that I read, I'm allowed to buy a new one. That's a little thing. I've got one for painting, so I've got 6 paintings that I can tick off. I've got one for the gym, one for seeing friends, some digital detox days, and some self care days. So far, this has been a really inexpensive little thing that I could do to help me achieve my goals. I'm just hoping that I don't lose them because I'm prone to losing things. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully, in a year's time, I'll be able to reflect and see if it worked or if it didn't. I really hope it does work though. So that's another little thing that you can do with friends. You can meet up, you can do a vision board, you can plan your goals together, you can do some punch cards or a bingo or anything like that. But as I said, the main thing is you need to keep referring back to your goals. So now to what my art goals are as an artist for this year. So these are things that I want to do maybe for my creativity, maybe for my art as a whole, or for the business side of it and things like that. At the moment, my art isn't really making me any money. It's more of just a passion thing. My studio I just pay for out of pocket, because I enjoy creating and it's something that I want to continue doing. But I really have some set goals this year to maybe try and help hopefully break even a little bit. So there's a painting that I'm working on. There's a couple of paintings that I'm currently working on. I want to finish those. One of them I need to do for April for hopefully an exhibition that I might be a part of. I want to dedicate a little bit more time for researching and for brainstorming ideas and things like that. I've started an art journal. It's just a sketchbook, and rather than it being kind of like a messy sort of experimental thing, which one of my other sketchbooks is for, why do we always have so many sketchbooks? Like what? But anyway, I want it to be more of a journal than a sketchbook. So I want it to be a place that I can develop my own style and my own interests with my art, because sometimes I feel like I box myself in quite a lot. I want to be able to write down thoughts that maybe I don't want in my journal, my normal journal, because then maybe they're more art related, maybe some ideas that I've been thinking a little bit about. I want it to be a place that I can refer back to and over time see how my ideas and my thoughts and my opinions have changed about art and the media that I consume. If I read a good art book, I want to document it in that book. One of the other things I really want to do this year, which I did a couple of years ago, and then last year and the year before kind of fell off with it, is gallery visits. I think galleries are so important. I think museums are so important. Seeing art in person is so important. And this year I really want to make an effort to actually go out and see them. So with my self date days punch card, my reward is actually to treat myself to an art fund pass, which gets you, I think it's like 50% off exhibitions and also free entry to a lot of museum and galleries. It's not a lot, but if I can prove to myself that 8 times I've gone to museums and galleries, I can kind of justify spending the money because I know I'll actually do it. So having that sort of realistic goal, um, and also a reward for it that makes sense with the goal, I think is going to be really helpful to get me out there and to seeing exhibitions and things like that, and taking my art journal and sketching while I'm there, writing down my thoughts and ideas. I really want to connect more with art. So yeah, hope that makes sense. Another big goal for me this year is to go all in with this YouTube channel. I have wanted to do this for so long, and the fear always stopped me because when I was younger, I had a YouTube channel doing special effects makeup, and I got picked on for it enough that I deleted everything. And I'm still so annoyed that I did that, and so annoyed that I like gave in to the like to all of it. So now that I've actually got the courage to do it, I'm doing it. And I'm going to try and aim for 1 to 2 videos a month. I'm going to continue my artist diaries as a way to document my own journey, but also I'm going to be doing videos like this, which are maybe a little bit different, not in the artist diaries category. Some other goals I want to do this year as an artist is I really want to have some commissions come through. My goal is to have 2. Any more would be great, but even if I just aim for 2 commissions, I'd be really happy with that. I would also like to do 2 art markets. So there's quite a lot around me in terms of markets, whether it's art markets or small business markets. And I really want to do a couple this year, so that's a goal. I would also like to sell 5 original paintings. I don't know if this is quite a quite a high number for me at the moment. I sold 2 last year. One of them was to one of my mates. Beside the point, I still sold 2. So I'm aiming for 5 this year, and hopefully with putting myself out there a little bit more on social media, we can hope that that will happen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you and you've maybe taken some things away from it. Let me know if you have any goals that you're setting for yourself this year, whether they're creative or not. I'd really like to hear them. And yeah, happy 2026!